just want to welcome you formally, Sean, to this space. And I'm going to just read the bio for everyone who might not have been able to see it or on the website. Residing at the intersection of leadership and mindfulness, Sean creates sacred spaces for self-study and personal discovery, helping people transform themselves to transform the world. Sean currently serves as Director of Student Leadership and Talent Development at Morehouse College, helping students grow their leadership competencies and talent through training, workshops, and developmental opportunities. His tenure in student affairs has focused on the identity, development, and leadership growth of students of various backgrounds. Sean has presented and facilitated workshops on the topics of marketing, branding, leadership development, mindfulness, and identity development for various organizations, institutions, including the Human Rights Campaign, Iota Phi Theta Fraternity, is that Makuho?
Yeah,
Makuho?
Makuho. Hmm.
Makuo, thank you. New Jersey Housing Conference, and the NASAP or NASAP
Hmm.
Student Leadership Institute, Kaiser Permanente Institute for Equitable Leadership, and Auburn Seminary. Welcome, Sean. That's a lot. You've done a lot.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, thank you for inviting me into this space, and I'm so excited to be here this morning to share with you a practice that has been so healing, restorative, and rejuvenating for myself. And so, I know we're really at and I think this conference came at the perfect time when we think about what's happening right now in the U.S. I think this week we've probably been holding our breaths over the last few weeks as we've been wading through the trial of Derek Chauvin, and Tuesday getting a verdict that it's hard to understand how to feel around that. And then hours later we hear about another loss of life, and so we're at this really interesting place of taking steps towards accountability on the journey to justice, and then having these really interesting steps backwards. And so I think it's really important, especially in these times where we have the opportunity to slow down and really check in to see how we are feeling and responding to what is happening. I think it's just so natural for us to be on the move, and not necessarily process. And I say all this to say, because this is conversations I have to have with myself, right? To slow down and really be able to process. And over the last few days, I've had the opportunity to do so. And so I hope that this practice today, this sound bath and meditation, will provide an opportunity to really slow down and lean into those feelings, even if they are uncomfortable feelings, or we move into space of discomfort, that we can slow down, feel into that space, and really use that as a moment of growth, and really critical, teachable moments as well. What I love to do before I begin any sound bath class is read to you from something that is always kind of resonating with me. Usually, if you've taken any of my classes, I always read from something of Pema Chodron. She is one of my favorite authors. I am also a practicing Buddhist. And so her teachings are always in alignment. And it's this book, if you can't tell, it's beat up because this is just the book for me. It's a book called Comfortable with Uncertainty, and I think it's perfect for where we are now. But before practices, I always kind of flip through and kind of let what page opens up kind of resonate in that way. And this is the page that opened up for me this morning in preparation for our integration time together. And this excerpt is called Hope and Fear. One of the classic Buddhist teachings on hope and fear concerns what are known as the eight worldly dharmas. These are four pairs of opposites, four things that we like and become attached to, and four things that we don't like and we try to avoid. The basic message is that when we are caught up in the eight worldly dharmas, we suffer. First, we like pleasure. We are attached to it. Conversely, we don't like pain. Second, we like and are attached to praise. We try to avoid criticism and blame. Third, we like and are attached to fame. We dislike and try to avoid disgrace. Finally, we are attached to gain, to getting what we want. We don't like losing what we have. According to this very simple teaching, becoming immersed in these four pairs of opposites pleasure and pain, praise and blame, fame and disgrace, and gain and loss is what keeps us stuck in the pain of samsara. We might feel somehow we should try to eradicate these feelings of pleasure and pain, gain and loss, praise and blame, fame and disgrace. A more practical approach is to get to know them intimately, see how they hook us, see how they color our perceptions of reality, see how they aren't all that solid. Then the 8 worldly dharmas become means for growing wiser, as well as kinder and more content. So my intention for us sharing space today is that it gives us an opportunity to sit with where we are in this moment. I know over the course of this experience, over the next few days, there have been yesterday there were some amazing sessions, and I know there will be some more amazing sessions coming up, but using this time and then creating other time for yourself where you can sit in and really integrate how you're feeling at the moment, and letting those feelings come up, not fighting them, and really embracing them to see where you can create pivot points for new perspectives and new opportunities to move and grow as we navigate through the world. And so my intention now is just for us to relax and just be, and let whatever comes up in this experience just float into your awareness. All right. So just so you have an idea of where we'll go with this sound bath, I'll begin with a gentle guided meditation. I'll slowly integrate the sound into our experience. On the back end of that, there'll probably be about 2 or 3 minutes of silence. Practice isn't over. And I know sometimes silence can be a little uncomfortable. But sometimes I find the silence is the best place for that integration. Once we kind of subtract or dissolve anything else in that space, it really gives us a chance to see what's left. And at the end of that silence, I'll guide you out with my voice. And then, pending time, we'll see if we have some time for us to just kind of chat, to know a little bit more about how this experience maybe made you feel. And again, there's no pressure around that. Feel comfortable at that point. Maybe you just drop it in the chat. Maybe you feel comfortable and want to share off mute, but whatever feels good for you in the moment. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna stop talking. And so we can get into the good sounds of these Himalayan bowls. All right. So go ahead and come to whatever posture makes you feel comfortable this morning. As mentioned before, because we're not together for a super long time, you can feel comfortable to stay seated in a typical meditations posture, upright. Or you can just relax in Shavasana. Maybe you're in a comfortable recliner, a bed, a couch, wherever you are. Just allow yourself to get comfortable in that space. And when you found that nice little sweet spot of comfort, just allow yourself to blink your eyes closed, if that's available to you at the moment. And if not, just gently lower or soften your gaze. And just become aware. Just start to notice the natural rhythm and flow of the breath. Noticing what's happening in the body at the moment. Not trying to fight any feelings, not approaching any sensations with any judgment, just becoming aware. Acknowledging, tapping into that wisdom. And we'll do a gentle body scan just to allow us to just feel a little deeper into the physical body, bringing our awareness gently to our toes. And on your next inhale, just inhale and feel the awareness moving from the tips of the toes to the crown of the head. And on that next exhale, that awareness moving from the crown of the head to the tips of the toes. Inhaling from the tips of the toes to the crown. Gently exhaling from the crown of the head to the tips of the toes. Creating space to just feel the entire body. Bringing awareness in all the joints. Maybe each inhale and exhale becomes just a little more slow, a little more effortless. Maybe allowing you to become more aware of each part of the body on each inhale and exhale. And in that awareness, allow yourself to make any adjustments that will help you just soften a little deeper into your practice. So in that awareness, maybe you make a little adjustment to lower some pressure off your back or around the knees, but just give yourself permission to make any adjustments. And then bring your awareness to the breath. And take a moment and just set any intention you'd like for our time together. Right now, I've offered you the intention of just creating space to just feel, and maybe that works for you in this moment. Or maybe there's another intention that you want to invite into this practice. But with our awareness on our breath, just allow the energy of that intention to gently flow in through the nose. And anything that's not in service to that intention to just gently release on the exhale. And I'll begin to gently integrate the sound into our experience. Remembering that at any point, if the mind begins to wander in our practice, that you have your intention to return back to. You have the breath, the flow, the quality, the rhythm of the breath to return back to. And you also have the sound of the Himalayan bowls to gently return back to in this practice. Take about 3 minutes to just rest in the silence, just sitting in the open awareness, just continually returning back to the breath. You can start to slowly deepen the breath, creating a deep inhale through the nose, allowing the belly to fill, the chest to expand, and then maybe audibly exhale out of the mouth for a nice cleansing breath. Let's take two more of those at your own pace. It's a gentle, effortless inhale, allowing the body to expand. And just allow for a lengthy exhale. Maybe this exhale is longer than that inhale, but just exhale as long as it feels comfortable. Now, if you are lying on your back or relaxing in any other posture than upward seated, you can allow yourself maybe to roll to your side and gently press up to a nice upright seat. Take your time. Just be gentle with yourself. We've taken some time to rest, to slow down. So however that looks and feels to come to a nice comfortable seat, allow yourself to do so. Now, if you've come to that nice comfortable seat, just allow your hands to come to heart center, palms pressed together. Maybe even feel the back of the thumb pressing gently against the chest. Just taking a second to notice the feeling of the chest expanding, noticing the breath. And you can start to gently rub the hands together, generating a little love, light, heat, energy. And when you feel that warmth, when you feel that spark of energy, gently rest your hands on a part of your body that needs just a little extra TLC, knowing that'll be different for everybody. Just take a moment, close your eyes, and breathe into this space. taking a breath for yourself, a breath for community, making sure to take an extra breath for those who are no longer here to breathe for themselves. And just take a moment and be in this space, noticing your own ability, your own power to heal. And I'll read to you an excerpt from the book Inward by Young Pueblo. And it's an excerpt that I use to close all my practices. Healing yourself will ask more of you. More rest, more self-love, more letting go, more time for learning, more space for transformation, more honesty about how you feel, more time developing good habits, more courage to try new practices, more time cultivating your inner peace, and lastly, more faith in yourself and the process. I just want to say thank you all for allowing me to hold space for you in this capacity. Hopefully this was a great opportunity for you to drop into a gentle restorative space for yourself as you pivot back out into the world. You know, all I can ask is just taking beautiful time like this just to slow down. It's such a beautiful way to cultivate our own sense of personal power and come back to our natural seat of calm. So what I would like to do, if anybody has anything that they would like to share, we definitely want to leave this as space for us to be in community. So if you have any thoughts, anything you want to share, feel free to either drop it in the chat or maybe come off mute if you feel comfortable.
Just wanted to share with you something that came to me. It's a poem that came to me as I was going through this experience, and it's called Oneness, Stillness, Wholeness. It says, the deep river calls to me. There's a river that flows beneath the surface of my being, an unlimited source of knowing, a tap into vast resources that render me limitless. Oneness, stillness, wholeness renders me limitless. Ever adding to my source of knowing, being, and flowing, the river connects to the wind becomes spirit and fills my body with eternal rest, peace, joy. There is a fluidity in my bosom, a leap in my belly, a ringing in my ear, all in celebration and homage to humanity, the beautiful colors, hues, languages, voices, wisdom, and stories, legacy that connects me and runs through me, a river not only to tap into, but to continuously bathe in for strength, wisdom, and love. The river invades every cell and destroys all the doubt, fear, and anguish. It flows through my bloodstream to my bloodline, healing, a oneness, a stillness, a wholeness. We are limitless. We are one.
Ashe. What's that called again?
Yeah, I just wrote it during this, and it's called.
Oh, you wrote it.
I just wrote it
during
this process, and it's called Oneness, Stillness, Wholeness. I'd be willing to share it if you wanted me to.
Sure, that would be great. That was beautiful. One of the great things about, and don't get me on the soapbox about stillness practices, tapping into creativity, but I think that's such a beautiful example that, you know, you were able to tap into that wellspring and write such a beautiful piece. Like, thank you so much for sharing that with us. I'm over here like, snap, yes.
Thank you so much for that. And if you would like to, if you're open to sharing that or having it be shared, we're very happy to share that with the community for the gathering, if you want to reach out to us. Sean and everyone, I'm bathed in tears of gratitude. I just want to thank you again, Sean, so much for coming in and offering your beautiful, powerful medicine to us today. And we'll be sure to share again with everyone where they can find more, connect with you more and learn more about your offerings in different spaces. But I want to just thank you again for being here. I needed that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. And I want to say this to everyone that's here too. You know, for me, about when I think about practices, particularly, you know, I work with stillness practices. Sound healing is kind of like my baby. If any folks have questions about it as a practice, as a medicine, as just how do I get into it, please feel free to reach out. That's for me, it's about how do we start to share these as practices of liberation in that way. And so, you know, if you have any questions, don't be like, "Oh, I don't want to ask this," or like, "Where do you get bowls from?" or "How did you get started?" All of those questions, like when the contact information goes out, please feel free to use it. Email. I'm always open to answer questions and even hop on alignment calls with folks just to talk about like, hey, what's the best sort of bowl to start out with? Or, you know, I'm interested in doing XYZ. How can I integrate this into my practice? You know, for me, being in these spaces is about being a resource and helping others along their journey. So use the contact information, please.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.